Hello everyone, I'm David, he's Alex, and we are a Winner's You. This week we are back to finish the job and close the door on the Summer of Resi with a deep dive discussion, I wrote D-dive discussion, into the somewhat divisive and maybe a little bit controversial Resident Evil 3 Remake. Alex, how are you today? And is it controversial?
I would say it is.
It's certainly divisive.
Divisive?
I would say divisive, but I think divisive sounds better in my ear.
Well, you'd say division, wouldn't you? So you wouldn't say division.
Division.
The first division.
Long division. The division thing.
But yes, there isn't one of those, is there?
Oh, not yet, no. They keep they keep saying, like, the Division 2, they keep, like, sort of finishing its content roadmap, which is, I hate that term. But anyway, they keep finishing the content roadmap for it and then announcing another one. So, I don't know. That game won't die when the Division 1 was so much better.
I wonder why and where project management decided to come up with roadmap as a term, because roadmaps in everyday life are absolutely obsolete. Yeah. Who looks at a roadmap?
Here's your Apple Maps.
Your granddad? Yeah. Very strange choice of words. I mean, I can understand what they're saying. You know, I get it. But most roads, I suppose roads do end, but they do just carry on into different roads. But that doesn't seem to happen with these roadmaps.
These are looped. They're sort of straight line tracks that may get cut off at any point.
They're a development cul-de-sac, if anything.
Exactly.
You just get to the end and you're outside someone's garage and you don't know where you are.
Maybe, yeah. I mean,
it sounds like Anthem or something.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Maybe it doesn't have quite the same ring to it, though. Here's our development cul-de-sac for the game. Yeah.
At most, it's a high street. Roadmap. What the hell are we talking about roadmaps for?
Don't know.
The division.
The division.
Because of how much this video game has divided its fan base. But regardless of that, I am well.
Good.
I had a horrendous time getting home from AEW All In at Wembley.
Did you go?
I did.
I kept seeing it was happening, and I kept meeting it to. I need to ask Alex if he's going again this year. Was it good?
Yeah, I was. My arm was twisted to go, and you know that's a heavy twist when it ends up costing me 150 plus quid.
Yeah.
Luckily, I introduced the person who bought the tickets to PayPal Pay in 3, which then allowed me to pay him back in 3 stages. So we were all winners in that regard. But the problem that we have, and we had as last year as well, we had slightly better seats this time, but we were still on the hard camera side, which is a good side to be, kinda, because the wrestlers are all going to kind of look at you and stuff when they're
you're not looking at their arse. Exactly.
But we were in an upper tier, and basically all the way in front of us was just tarp. So there was nothing. There was nobody below us. So the atmosphere around us was so minimal that if you were to join in, you'd basically just hear your own voice, and nobody really wants to just hear their own voice in amongst like chanting and cheering.
No, I feel like if your seats aren't like primo seats, you're there for the atmosphere, right?
We didn't get that exactly. We didn't get that because it's just you become too self-conscious that if you start doing the Daniel Bryan, you're just going to be doing it by yourself, sounding like an idiot.
Doing it you may as well just do it in your living room.
And the worst part about that is we got a really good view of the screen, which is directly above the ring. So you've got the ring, and then right above it is a screen, because they had like a sort of a truss set up to almost like marquee it off in case it rained. But like Ash and I had several conversations of like, how many times have you looked at the screen during this match? So we basically had to come up with an agreement between us that we tried to stick to, of watch the 2 people in the ring, unless there's some kind of like facial expression or acting that's going on that you therefore need to see a close up of. But even then, it was still hard to stop looking up at the screen and then think, why am I in why did I pay for this? This is a screen that I could have been watching at home. But getting out was such bullshit. That's
honestly the worst thing about going to like sporting events is leaving. Sucks, man. Sucks.
I imagine it would have sucked even more, but for me, I noticed, and I've learned this lesson now because this has happened to me twice, and I'm not going to let it happen again. Where I suddenly realised that the only trains coming into where I got the train out from, because I live in the sort of kind of in the countryside-ish, they don't go very late. So I thought to myself during, I can't remember what match it was, I was like, oh, I wonder what time the last train home is. I better just check. And it was like 10:57. And I thought to myself, this event is definitely going to go on until at least 10 o'clock. And that's not enough time when my tube ride back takes 32 minutes and I've got to get out and walk all the way up Wembley Way to Wembley Park. Like I'm not going to get home if I leave when this finishes. So I had to leave early.
That's even worse, though, especially for a wrestling event, because you know the actual interesting thing's going to happen right at the end.
Yeah, so I had to power walk it up Wembley Way whilst Bryan Danielson's winning the world title. All the fireworks are going off. I can hear people cheering. I'm just like slumping home. For fuck's sake, stupid. So I power walked it all the way to the train and staring up at their board that says it's going to be going in a couple of 10 minutes. I look down, I look up again, it's gone. It's been replaced by something else that's not going anywhere near where I want to go. So I said to the guy, sorry mate, where's that train gone? And he was like, oh, I think someone fell on the line. So
fuck.
I think that service
so you left for nothing.
Out. What I was thinking at this point is I've left early. Now I have to do some kind of bullshit where they said, you've got to go somewhere else and then change to a different line and you'll get to Liverpool Street that way. So I'm thinking someone's going to have to come and get me from London probably, because by the time I get to Liverpool Street, I ain't getting a train. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not sleeping in a train station all night. Someone's going to have to come and get me. So I'm texting my parents you might have to drive to London and get me in a few hours. So just be prepared for that. I managed to I basically ran through every station I had to change at to get there on time. I got there with about 10 minutes to spare. Then I'm standing there chilling out thinking, weird, there's no platform showing for this train yet. And then I look up 3 minutes till when it's supposed to arrive and it's cancelled. And some woman actually shrieked behind me. The cancelled went up and someone went, ah! Yeah, well, I know, but let's, okay. Then they made some sort of bollocks announcement there will be a service to Cambridge at some point tonight. We will tell you more when we know it, but please stay put if you're headed to Cambridge. And I'm thinking at this point, I don't trust that. You've just had a Cambridge one that's gone.
Yeah.
So then it came to the thought of right, I can't ask someone to come and pick me up. I'm going to have to go to a station near enough to home. The closest one's Bishop Stortford, was about a 20-minute drive. So I thought I'm going to have to go there and then get a taxi or an Uber from there, and it's going to cost me a fucking fortune. I also went and asked some guys, is this replacement Cambridge train going to go to where I need to go? And he was like, I don't know, should do. It's yeah, but you should have had one 3 minutes ago. So, all right. So he was like, I would go to Bishop Stortford if you want to minimise the risk. Fine. So I get there, get off the train. Some woman's like, there is a train to Cambridge. It's coming soon. I was like, oh, cool. What time? She's like, 00:49. I was like, well, that's 49 minutes from now. Brilliant. So I just had to go sit in one of those, the little sort of cordon off areas of the route, just sitting there with people people were just sleeping around me, and we waited and it got delayed. It was 1 a.m. the train shows up, and then I get home at 2 in the morning. It's just that wasn't worth it. It really wasn't worth it. So next year they're not doing all in at Wembley next year. They're doing a lesser show, and I believe because they've only ever said London at this point, I think it's going to be O2 or Wembley Arena.
Is that better?
Probably. The atmosphere will be better.
Okay.
Tickets should be cheaper, but I'm still not sure if I could be bothered with it anymore, because if you're not right down there ringside seats, getting your sign out and getting to join in with everybody having a laugh, it just feels really pointless. You might as well just stay at home, which sounds like such an old man thing to say, but that's the realization I had. I enjoyed the wrestling, but couldn't really see it. So
yeah, I mean, I can kind of feel your pain to an extent. We've got better seats now, but the first year I had a season ticket in Murrayfield, we were basically in the front row in the corner. So when people were going to score a try at one end of the field, you had a great view, or you had it depends what side of the one end of the field they were on, but the rest of the time you had a big screen off to my right, and honestly spent most of my time just
That's
facing
kind of
away
like me
from
at
the
Tottenham.
pitch. And I'm
Yeah,
just like, this is fucking pointless.
yeah, it's so annoying. You just that like the self-conscious hatred that you feel when you're looking at a screen when you've paid money to be not looking at a screen. You just feel like such a failure. Like why am I doing this? Why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you leave, and then you're like, well, I assume it's similar to you. You go out, and there's the tram anyway in Edinburgh, and you've got to like stand like sardines in a queue while there's drunk people bashing into you all the time. You've stayed sober because you decided to drive, and then you get onto the tram, and you're all crammed in. Again, there's like people breathing on you the whole time. You're just like, there is like, I don't know. It's like a 20-minute tram drive from the stadium to where the park and ride is, and I'm like, so there's like, let's say you're waiting 20 minutes as well, so there's like at least an hour of my day for an 80-minute match has been fucking awful.
Yeah, Tottenham's just like that as well. There's so much in the journey that just piles up and up, especially the way home. You're waiting to get out, you're walking down the street for like 20 minutes, you get to the train station, you normally have to wait. By the time you finish waiting, the first train's probably gone, so then you're waiting like another 40 minutes for the next one. But all told, by the time you get home, it's probably been about 3 hours since the kickoff, like since the match ended. You just like, I've wasted so much of my day as kind of like you, like standing around drunk cockneys.
Yeah.
Why do we do it?
I don't know, because I keep going back. So
yeah, same.
I don't know. I love it as much as I hate it, which is really odd.
Why do we keep going back to Summer of Resi, sir? That's the real question.
Well, yeah, how much time was wasted playing Resident Evil 3? I think
not a lot.
Very little, to be honest. I mean, like, I get why people complain about this game, and like, see, like, the people that, I mean, probably me included, it's not on a par with Resident Evil 2 Remake. It is a lot of reused assets. It's shorter. It's linear. It doesn't feel like a Resident Evil game particularly. Still enjoyed it for what it was. I don't know if you feel similar.
I can't hate the game because of what it is. Like, as in fundamentally how it plays. It's still part of that RE Engine modern Resident Evil style of the over-the-shoulder third, but like it's a really well made. It's really well made in terms of the functionality of it, like the way it looks. Like, it looks absolutely phenomenal. The fact that it can mostly hold the 60 FPS in 4K without ray tracing on, it's pretty good for a game that was made last gen. So if you take all of those ingredients to it, then yeah, it's definitely enjoyable. But there are so many parts of this game that are wrong or not unenjoyable, but just below the standard that we'd come to expect.
Context, yeah, okay, I think that's fair.
And that they have since hit again with Resident Evil 4. Obviously, this was made basically around the same time as the original, as the Resi 2 remake. So they kind of developed these at the same time. They basically had about a year, I think, after Resi 2 had wrapped up before they started on this. Something like that, anyway. It had 3 years of development, though, in total. So I think if you're going to try and make an excuse for this game to sort of say that it was rushed or that it was just kind of lazily developed using existing stuff to just try and get it out because it felt like the right thing to do. There were rumors that this was originally that was originally planned to be just on the same game as 2. 2 and 3 was going to be what the remake was. It was just going to be all
Why would they
thing.
do that, given how like genuinely good a game Nemesis is? I don't understand why you would make that design choice to deliberately make a third game, which in my mind is an excellent Resident Evil game, like a sort of stunted, linear, not as in depth. Because the game, the PS1 version of the game is not like that.
Which is kind of funny because initially the original PS1 game was designed to be sort of a spin-off version, like Resident Evil 2.5 before the PS2 came along. Then they scrapped that idea and made the Resident Evil 3 team go and work on Resident Evil 4 for the PS2, which of course became Devil May Cry, and then Resident Evil 3 became an actual full-on release, which is, as we said, it is a short game. This game is also short. Resident Evil 2 is short. Resident Evil 2 Remake is short. They are all short video games.
I just sort of
there is
a bit. Did COVID impact this game?
It came out in 2020, so no, probably not.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out what like. It's just like
probably affected crunch.
Yeah,
at the end.
I guess like given how good the Resident Evil 2 remake is, it seems odd to me that I guess like you said, they made it concurrently, so maybe they just made different choices. But it seems odd to me. I
think it's the different choices. 100%.
It seems odd to me that you've got like this example of a game, and then you release a game soon after it that just is. I don't know. I still like the game, but I just don't think it's not even on a par with Resident Evil 2 remake. Like I don't know. Again, like you'll be much more sort of familiar with this, but and again because you've just played 3 OG again, I'm much more familiar with it. But like to me, like if I'm playing a Resident Evil game, I want like an open environment with puzzles that I will sort of, like with the police station or the mansion, where you walk around this area that almost becomes a character in itself, and then figure out the puzzles and open different doors that you couldn't, and then just sort of work your way through that, and then you sort of complete that, and then move on, and they have another sort of smaller version of that. You eventually end up in an underground lab at some point, but
someone hits a self-destruct button. Yeah.
But like this game doesn't have that. It's got a sort of smaller area that has no puzzle in it to begin with, which is perfectly fun. And then after that is basically just a linear game, which is odd to me.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember 3 being like that at all.
Rightly so, because it isn't. There are 2 puzzles in this entire game. There's the where is it? It's the train route one.
Yes.
Where you have to, which is very easy.
Yeah.
Where you just kind of have to like make the train go in a certain route. And then there's just the synthesizing of a vaccine where you absolutely wholly just do trial and error until all 3 things are green.
Yeah.
That's all they put in it. I think that you mentioned decisions earlier, and that is, I think, entirely what caused this game to be the way that it is. They cannot rely or lean on short development time, rushed, but they can't. They had 3 years to do it. They just chose the wrong things to focus on, I think, in this. They claim that they focused on Nemesis and that they focused on his AI. I don't believe any of it.
He doesn't have AI, but he does have AI. I was going to say what AI, but he's not. It's incredible.
He's still. Yeah, well, at least his appearances are incredibly scripted, and most of the after the city, he's entirely boss fights. He does not return as a normal Nemesis, like a bipedal,
and he's a
humanoid
standard boss
Nemesis
as well. With he's got set attack patterns that you can learn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there was one moment where they unleash him on you in Raccoon City, where initially he does feel terrifying because he's faster than Mr. X. He's got weapons. He can jump. They obviously thought that was the improvement they were making to Nemesis. But having just played the original, and you saw me and heard me shouting down the microphone, he's far more of a threat in that game because he will just keep following you, and he appears more often in more places as that version of Nemesis, not a scripted set boss fight. The only time you actually really have a proper boss fight with him is outside the clock tower and at the end of the game. Whereas in this one, you have that one moment where he's chasing you around in the city for a bit, and that is quite sort of hairy. However, one grenade will down him and make him drop an item. So he's not he's a fucking bullet sponge tank in the original. In this, he's one grenade done. As are the hunters, as are those big shitty things in the underground. But after that, he just shows up as a dog or something. But I'll go into it more later. But
it's interesting you say that, actually, because I mean, and again, warning the listeners, I am thinking as I'm speaking here, so I may walk myself down a cul-de-sac, a cul-de-sac roadmap or whatever it was, and not be able to get myself out of it. But in many ways, Nemesis is the modern Nemesis is more like Mr. X and OG Nemesis than new Mr. X, because they like we played
totally.
OG2 recently, and he is incredibly scripted.
Totally.
And there is
he's a pain, but he comes along at the same point.
And there is an argument to be made, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Like, see, like Mr. X, the fact that you know he's always there is in itself scary in the 2 remake, because you're like, at any point he is hunting me. You feel hunted. You feel like there is something looking for you all the time, and
he's hounding you. He just won't go away.
That is scary. But there is a point in the 2 remake where he just becomes a sort of obstacle to get around, because he's slow and monotonous. And actually, when he's in the room with you, it's easy just to run around him or bait him and then just run away from him. I don't think 3's ever feels like that to me. And he is, when you're running away from him, because he is fast. He is. I found him, at least on occasion, when it's certainly in that sort of first street area where you're walking around the streets, when he's chasing you and he's faster than you, that is actually scary in a way that I'm not sure, once you sort of learn 2's patterns and that he's actually not as scary as he looks, is never like that.
Do you think that because of that, then, I was initially going to posit to you that maybe they thought Mr. X was too scary, and so they tried to give us more breathing space between, like, so not have him constantly there. Maybe they had feedback saying, I can't concentrate on the game because this guy just won't fuck off. But what you just said there actually makes me think that it's more likely they're also aware, as we are, that after a while Mr. X kind of just becomes part of the scenery.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
So does that mean that's why they decided to, like, right, okay, well, we're going to script Nemesis, but what we're going to do is try and make every scripted moment that he shows up make you shit your pants, like in Resident Evil 7 with Jack.
Could be. I mean, like, I think there is a place in gaming for both of these things. Like you say, like when like that, I'm talking about the street area specifically, where I think he's quite an intimidating threat. After that, not so much, but like when he jumps out on you and is able to leap over the top of you, like you can't just get away from him in the way that you can get away from Mr. X. But then, like,
almost like teleporting in front of your path that you're running into is brilliant. That is fantastic that he's able to do that.
But I do also like, when we're talking, like I was saying before, like I like how in Resident Evil games, or good Resident Evil games, that the environments become characters in their own right. And like similar to the dragons in Skyrim, in which the dragons in Skyrim are always there, like Mr. X. I like that because it feels authentic in a way. You're not getting presented with a script. You're not sort of tripping a scripted environment. You're sort of organically coming across these things that are there already. I like that.
I love that.
And depending on the game, both, like I say, both. There's a place in gaming for both of these. I don't know. I'm simultaneously found it a shame that Mr. Nemesis is not like Mr. X, but also at times found him more scary. I can't decide now that we're actually talking about it. I think I came into this thinking, I much prefer the way they do Mr. X, but now I'm actually sort of verbalizing it and we're talking through it together. The street version of Nemesis I like. I don't know if I like him after that so much. He's just a thing.
He's either a QTE, or barely a QTE, or he's a cutscene, or he's just a boss fight.
Yeah.
There are some things that they've came out and said, and it's mostly this producer on the game called Peter Fabiano, who seems to be somewhat gaslighting people, and also
that wouldn't be the game industry, would it?
Yeah, and he's kind of talking about, like, it seems like the key thought and the decision, as we, to go back to that thread again, that they made is that they wanted to make this feel more cinematic. They wanted to make the story more focused. They wanted to have more character development. Those are the things that they took from the original Resident Evil 3 and thought, right, that's what we need to improve. They didn't think about things like let's wait
a minute, what was it? Story, cinematic, and character development.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, I get granted it's probably showing its age now, but I don't think these are either or choices. Maybe in terms of budget it was, but like, is the story worse in The Witcher, for example, because it's not as scripted or cinematic? I would say no. It's not worse. It's better in many ways. Like, I don't know. Sorry, I'll let you continue. I don't agree with the premise that you have to choose these at the expense of something else.
It's almost like when they say focused story, they mean focus on the story, not more focused. What they actually mean is we want to focus what you're doing on progressing the story, not we want to have a more focused narrative.
Yeah, we want to funnel you down a corridor.
Exactly. Because the original Resident Evil 3 story is pretty threadbare because you're doing a lot more exploring and puzzling. The fact that this Peter Fabiano, this fucking charlatan, coming out saying things like that they have expanded. He said something about Raccoon City that's just not true. You'll see a much more vibrant, that's true, and expansive Raccoon City with more areas to explore. It's not an open world game, but there are more open spaces. That's just a lie.
Yeah.
The original Resident Evil 3 had uptown and downtown.
Yeah.
This Resident Evil 3 has 2 streets with a donut shop in the middle.
Yeah.
What is he fucking talking about? It haven't expanded. You've retracted Raccoon City.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And you've taken us out of it far too quickly.
That's a weird... Or he just hasn't played 3 properly.
Yeah, as if we were just going to look at it and go, you know what, that does actually look prettier. Wow, they really did expand it. You did not, mate. You didn't expand shit. They haven't even got the park in there that's in the original game.
No, they don't.
There's no city hall in there. There's no graveyard. We'll talk more about the things they cut later, but it does just seem like rather than them taking the game and trying to make sort of clever additions to the gameplay, like maybe doing a whole new set of puzzles, making Raccoon City feel like they're trying to claim it is more expansive with more exploration in it. I would rather they did something like that than to say, oh, well, we focused more on the story so Carlos could say one-liners and things like that and start to become more of a partner to Jill or whatever it is they're trying to claim that he is in this game.
Yeah.
I do not feel that's what when they talk about, like the amount of cinematics, especially the opening of this game. They basically added a whole opening of the game before you get to the bit where Matey Boy locks himself in his back of a lorry or whatever it is that he did.
I forgot about it.
Which seems like an incredibly pointless inclusion in the game, because in the original you can go back to that area and find him dead.
Find he's fucked, yeah.
Yeah, you can't go back in the area.
You never go back. So as far as you know, he's still in there, I guess.
Yeah. But everything before that
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's just like...
That's in there because it was in there first, right? And they were like, include that.
Yeah, there's no explanation of who he is or why he's important or why should we care. Why is Jill bothered about what he does? Who the fuck is this guy? But the bit before that, which goes on for like 15, 20 minutes, or at least that part is also included in this whole 15, 20 minute spell at the beginning of this game before you actually get to play it properly. I really hate it. The
dream sequence and stuff at the beginning.
The dream sequence, the walking around the apartment. Then Nemesis comes in immediately and he smashes through the wall, and you go through basically like pressing up on the analog stick for a while to sort of run away from these fake chase sequences. So many scripted bits are popping up. In the original game, you start off basically, she just comes out of a fucking burning building and then go, play the game. And there's zombies everywhere and off you go. Whereas this one, even the first couple of zombies, you see that there's one that comes up against a fence that's entirely scripted. There's that bit where you see you pick up the gun and there's one comes out. You can just turn around and walk away. There's the bit where there's 3 of them outside, that bit with Brad. And you and I both immediately died because there's a really short window of time for you to press the forward button after the cutscene stops. Otherwise, you will get eaten by that one every fucking time. Then you get Brad turning into a zombie at that point, or doing his little sacrifice and getting zombified. And that's there's a difference there. Brad, before that as well, he's quite blasé. He's just going around like, yeah, this place has gone to shit. You should probably get out of here, mate. Like, that thing that you've just seen, he's probably after you, so let's go. Whereas in the original, he's proper, like he's in the restaurant, he's shitting himself, he's terrified, he runs away. The next time you see Brad, he's at the police station and Nemesis wrecks his face with a big tentacle. In this one, Brad just turns into a zombie. in a cool way, to be fair, because he then bites Marvin and it ties into the Resident Evil 2 remake, which is probably the best thing they did.
I did
from a
text you about that. I like that.
Yes, absolutely. But all of that first bit, where it's just effectively forced cutscenes that interrupt the gameplay, what little gameplay there is, every like 20 seconds, just for you to press up a bit more.
Yeah, you're probably right there, to be honest. I can't really argue with that.
Even the bit where she gets in the car, you just press the right trigger and then you'll run him over. And ironically, she says, "Now it's my turn, bitch."
And
it's not my turn because I'm still watching stuff. When is it my actual turn to play this fucking game? Because once you do get into the Raccoon City bit, aside from the lack of puzzles, I love that part.
Yeah, it's totally
the best bit of the game. Shoot zombies, walking about, getting some items,
get chased,
looking at the map.
Bit.
Yeah,
it's fun.
That's great.
It is good. It's probably the best part of the game, and it's really front loaded.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. You want them to put their best foot forward, but yes, it's just a shame that I wish the game, if the game had been like sort of more, like I say, of a selection of those scenarios over and over again, I think I would have been more positive in the game than it ended up being. And again, like, I want to keep reiterating, I know we're criticising the game, but like I did generally enjoy my time with the game. I was never bored. I never regretted my time playing it. Like, it's totally fine.
It's over too quickly to regret it, really, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, that's I think the strongest part of the game. I don't know when. I assume we're moving on to it soon. But I even for what it is, even quite enjoyed the police station part, because it was just nice to go back there, because I'm like, oh yeah, I know my way around here. I know what I'm doing. And he's like, go here. And it's like, oh, I know where that is. I don't even need to look at the map. I know exactly where I'm going. And then like the little bits, you know, like seeing like Marvin getting bitten. You know how that happened. And then there's also you blow, as Carlos, blow the hole in the wall that is already there into. It's cool to just see that sort of stuff and like, oh, okay, this sort of ties up a couple of different things that are in the previous game in a nice, neat way that I enjoyed. Yeah,
absolutely. And this game obviously very much leans into the fact that you are there just before Leon. So I think it's like 2 hours or something, isn't it? So
yeah,
they thought about, again, they thought about that kind of thing really well. You obviously go to the police station in Resident Evil 3 as well. That time you're still Jill. You only play as Carlos in the original game when Jill has been infected by Nemesis at the clock tower, and then you go to the hospital, get the vaccine for her, and come back. That's the only time you play as him.
You got to go. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
So
yeah, okay.
But this game gives you a lot more time with Carlos, as you said, specifically in the police station, which was really, I find that really enjoyable. I see people criticize that, in that obviously in the police station in the original game, you're playing as Jill, therefore Nemesis is after you because Nemesis is after the stars. So he's not after Carlos because Carlos is not stars. So he is not a threat in the police station anymore. And I think, in fairness to the game, they make the liquor feel like a real threat in that, probably because the assault rifle's dog shit and
it's so bad.
Just can't seem to do damage to anything.
But I find the liquors and what's the other things called?
Hunters?
The hunters.
The hunters in this game are brutal.
Much more dangerous, probably, than Nemesis. Nemesis is, like I say, in the first area, scary, but after that, it's just a boss fight. Fights aren't scary.
Those hunters and being able to one-shot you are, they're probably one of the hardest enemies, I think, in any Resi game.
In that room where there's two of them, oh my god.
Yeah. And you're always in small areas and like tight corridors and things in that part of the game as well, which is why the Nemesis showing up in the police station when you're playing in the original as Jill, it feels effective at that way as well, because he's chasing you through these smaller corridors rather than being out in the city where you've got more space to maneuver and run around in the police station. You really are backs against the wall against him. So I saw somebody complaining about the fact that you're playing as Carlos there, so there's no Nemesis there, and also like he was complaining about the wall bit, saying that he wanted Nemesis to be the reason that wall was broken, because when he saw that he was going to have to go up to the shower room, he thought, oh great, Nemesis is going to break the wall. And then, oh no, wait! I'm just going to blow it up I'm going to blow it up myself.
Especially because I did think this at the time, that you just sort of find the explosives already on the wall.
Yeah. Why is that?
No idea. So yeah, it would have made more sense if someone had bust through. They trail the liquors quite well because you see it a long time before you actually encounter it.
Yeah, that's probably one of the most effective like liquor introductions aside from the original Resi 2 that there is, because it just feels harder than in Resi 2 remake as well, because his gun sucks, but
I also kept
they really
expecting
add bread to that.
Yeah. I also kept expecting to see the liquors. I must have sort of ingrained in my brain somewhere in a little recess in a dank corner where the liquors turn up in Resident Evil 2 Remake. And I kept expecting them to turn up in the same places, but
they probably twisted that around,
which I thought was also quite fun. I will say it's a dramatic decision, especially in a police station, just to decide to blow a hole in a wall. Because there's a few...
And someone else decided that beforehand too, right?
Yeah, because I mean, like, I know it's a video game, but if this was real life, you could just move a few chairs and tables that are in the way of the door, rather than let's get the C4 out. That is an interesting...
Yeah, because they barricaded that bit off, haven't they?
You could just unbarricade it, right?
Yeah.
Probably less hassle.
Yeah. Just once. If somebody could make a video game where that's the case, like there's this clearly like cordoned off player area you're not supposed to go in because there's loads of stuff piled up. If you could just allow your character to just start pulling it apart. Just chuck a grenade in there. Yeah. That would be so cool.
It's even like that in Uncharted games. You go up an abandoned, like you're going through an abandoned house, you try and go up some stairs and there's just like a fallen bookcase and you're like, oh well, cannot get through that.
Yeah.
You could just climb over it. If you could block zombies that easily, that is why are we all dead in these post-apocalyptic games? Just climb over the bookcase and we're flying.
You can block a nemesis by walking into a room with a item box and a typewriter in it. Somehow we won't go in those.
Maybe it's the music. You just got to have an Alexa playing some, what is it, Muzak it's called, just chilled out slow music. And they're just like,
download the OST to get the save room theme because he's allergic to it. It's programmed into him somehow. It's a fault in his programming. But yeah, they never did quite figure that out. It needs to be there. Even in Village, old Big Tits McGee.
Yeah, she's like,
oh, ain't gonna fuck in the save room.
Well.
Yeah,
can't even
go in that room. Yeah,
she's probably been walking past that room for like eons. Just hearing the fat guy like eating a baguette in there or something, just like unable to go in and see what that noise is.
Like Home Alone, where Macaulay Culkin won't go down into the basement because he thinks that that furnace is going to eat him. She's obviously seen something in there she does not like. Maybe it is just the fact.
Like if you were a cat, like hunting a mouse, you would sit outside that door and wait for someone to leave. Nah, she just fucks off.
Yeah,
she goes through the door instantly, just fucks off in the opposite direction.
Yeah. It's like, damn it, gone in the fat guy room again. Right, anyway, what was I doing? I think I was reading something. I'm gonna get, but she does go slowly, so you have to wait ages for her to amble away and then come back. What was that? Right, what else have we got to talk about here? What else have we got to talk about? Here's one thing that I noticed.
While you're talking, I'm going to lower I'm having a seat now.
Right, okay. One thing that I had confirmed for me that I had assumed, or at least I had to start getting an inclination, had been removed from the game, and I have no idea why, unless these two development teams just did not communicate with each other, and the ones who made the 2 remake did not bother to tell the guys making the 3 remake it was possible. Dismemberment's gone. Why is that gone?
What is it?
So I was so used to, in the 2 remake, like if I've killed a zombie or if I've downed a zombie, I am cutting its legs off before it gets up with my knife. You cannot do that in 3.
Smart.
You can't even shoot them off.
Never thought to do that. I should have done that.
Yeah. Somebody also said that they turned down the gore. I don't know if I necessarily believe that.
Yeah, I'm not sure I saw that.
But maybe dismemberment was part of what they were saying. But yeah, you can't shoot or cut limbs off zombies. It's really weird. You can shoot, you can explode heads, but I was very disappointed to see that has gone. But yeah, the gore I don't think is toned down because the hospital is like absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
It is just covered in viscera and bodies and guts. And there's like just smeared blood over every single wall because obviously the hunters have done such a number on anybody in there. I don't necessarily think that is the case, but what a weird thing to have taken out or not put in, I guess, in that sense.
I wonder why they did that.
Let's
you can't like because the game's so linear as well. I can't even imagine it's in like they don't have like Nemesis walking about all the time. You can't even imagine it's sort of a RAM issue. So like the example of that always jumps out to my brain is that in Mass Effect 3, in Mass Effect 1 and 2, you can put your gun away. In Mass Effect 3, you can't put your gun away because there's not enough RAM left. They've like squeezed so much out of the Xbox 360 and the PS3 that there's just nothing left to allow you to have an animation to put your gun away.
I did not know that.
Cannot imagine that they were so up against it in 3 that they couldn't have some gore and some dismemberment. Just get the code from your other team.
Yeah, exactly.
The only other thing, I guess, like to try and like sort of parse out, often when you get sort of these like dual studio games things, you get a weird rivalry, don't you? There's like there's the Batman people where Rocksteady don't acknowledge is that Batman Arkham Origins as a real game. Yeah. Same with BioShock 2. Yeah. And then there's the weird sort of competition that the Call of Duty games had over the years between Treyarch and Infinity Ward. So maybe it could just be like an ego thing where they're just like, oh, not asking those guys. Who knows?
Yeah. But I don't understand that. Yeah. So let's talk about more of the changes. Specifically, I guess this time between this one and the original. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there are obvious things that we can scoot over. Things
I'm interested
like,
to hear this stuff because I think I've said this already, but you in preparation for this podcast, you finished 3 and then went and did OG 3 as well.
Yeah, the thing that I'm reading here has just something's just caught my gaze. Toggleable flashlight? Don't think so.
No, I couldn't figure out how to put that.
Totally automatic.
On. Yeah, automatic.
Yeah. All right, so that's wrong. So obviously there's things we can gloss over are like, obviously they changed the camera angle so it's over the shoulder. They've got improved lighting and graphics and character models. You play as more of Carlos.
It does look amazing, to be fair. The game looks incredible.
Oh, yeah. They designed an incredible Raccoon City to look at, not to explore.
Yes.
You have obviously, things like checkpoints after you die and stuff like that. Jill's dodge ability is improved, apparently. Well, you have a button for it, so yes, it is. It's easier to perform.
I wasn't good with Jill. I managed to sort of get okay with Carlos, but the Jill one didn't work quite as well for me.
Yeah, if you time Jill's correctly, whatever that means, you get like bullet time slow-mo if you do it properly. Like, I guess like a parry or whatever in Dark Souls. So I guess if you dodge at the very last second, everything will go slow. Kind of like how if you do it correctly with Carlos, he'll just do like a Superman punch and just twat something across the room.
Yeah, because I remember I tried to have a punch up with a Hunter.
Hunter, yeah. You've got weapon mod customization in this game, which is not in the original. So now
as in
you can improve.
Can you not improve your guns in the original 3?
You can't improve them, no. You can unlock better guns from taking down Nemesis. I think you've got to do him 2 times in like a non-boss fight scenario with Nemesis, and he drops like he does in this game. He will drop a case of something. I think you saw me do it on the original where you get that eagle gun.
Yes,
which is far better.
But you got it. Didn't you got it? It happens the wrong way around. Did you not get something before you got the gun?
I got.
You were like,
I got.
Oh no, I've got. You
2
said
parts.
Like, oh no, I've got to do it again.
Yeah, you get part A and part B.
Right. Okay, and then you put them together.
So I thought Eagle Parts A was just like something I put onto my existing handgun, but it's not. It's just the first part of a new gun.
I do like that in the sort of when Resident Evil games have that. So that's a good addition to be able to. I like being able to find upgrades to your guns. It's fun. And
this game seemed to make the guns take up more spaces, didn't it, in your inventory? If you upgraded them enough times, your pistol and your shotgun would all take up like 2 spaces rather than the one that they start with initially. Yeah, I think I didn't see your pistol do that, but you definitely had the shotgun take up 2 spaces after a while.
Which is my favorite game. I know it's controversial because it's the correct answer is the Magnum, but I think my favorite weapon in a Resident Evil game is the shotgun. Probably just because you get to use it more. Actually, I never use Magnums as much as I should because I'm scared to use them because I feel like I need to save them.
Yeah.
Whereas shotguns, I'll get going as soon as I get one.
One of my favorite thought processes in especially the original Resident Evil games is like knowing that you've got to a point of the game where you feel safe to put your handgun in the item box and leave it.
Yeah.
You think to yourself, like, I've got enough ammo for this shotgun. The enemies are getting harder now and I'm approaching the end game that I think it's time to ditch the handgun. I just love that. I don't know why. I just love that feeling. Like, right, I'm shotgunning as my main weapon and then I'm taking a grenade launcher and a Magnum as well.
Tell you what, that's one thing in retrospect. I maybe didn't appreciate it at the time, but in retrospect, I liked about the original 2 versus the 3. It's like apart from at the end where I sort of was overstocking because I kept expecting the final boss battle to happen and I just wasn't there yet. I never really struggled for space in the 3 remake. Whereas 2, I was making some controversial choice. I think 2's, or was it 1? There was one of the OG Resident Evils where I wasn't even taking health with me. I was just like, if I need it, I'll come back for it. was my
You
approach.
seem to have like loads more stuff than I did in this game as well. Towards the end, like you were just leaving stuff around because you couldn't fit it because you had so much stuff.
That was because I think
I was quite jealous of that.
You and I had a brief chat, and it was just like, just start taking stuff, or it was like hoarding or taking stuff with you now. So I was just like filling up my inventory, thinking the final boss battle's coming, when actually I should have not for like another half hour or so and left it there. I jumped too early. Was what I did.
Well, you were definitely done with the handgun at that point as well, because you were just like, you were leaving all the gunpowder, you were leaving all the bullets, you just were ignoring it at that point. Yeah,
because I had like a full stack in my sort of loadout, and then I also had like more handgun bullets in the safe chest. So I was like, I ended up, I was just like, I don't want any more handgun bullets. Stop giving me handgun bullets.
Yeah, it was quite funny. You were just like leaving all this stuff around. Whereas I was just desperately trying to grab anything. I don't know why. I don't know what I'd done to waste more stuff than you.
I mean, you did it better. You died way less times than me.
I died like 4 times, I think.
Yeah, I think I had like 15. So whatever you did worked.
What else did they change? Well, Nemesis has a flamethrower in this. He doesn't have a flamethrower in the original. He just has the rocket launcher earlier on. He can transform those zombies with his tentacle. I'm assuming he can do that outside of that first cutscene where you see him do it. I did see him a couple of times go up to zombies and just kind of touch their heads, and then they become those weird, annoying, big anus things that come after you.
Yeah. Because when I saw it, Jill actually mentions it. She you see him do it, and she's like, "What the hell?"
Yeah,
I think, and then I never saw him do it again, which was.
I think I did see him do it maybe once to somebody else, and that felt like it was slightly organic in terms of like, oh, he's just going to do that to any zombies that are kind of lying around. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Although I'm running away and I'm not going to interact with any of the enemies at this point, but good, you do you, mate. I wish you well. Yeah. They did the collectible Charlie doll bobblehead things in this game. I nowhere near.
I didn't even notice until I was like halfway through the game, and then I started noticing and was like, oh, I should have been looking for them.
Yeah. I do feel like I would want to go and try and get all of them, but that would mean playing the rest of the game, which to be fair is not that much of a time sink. It's like 5 and a bit hours, but still, I've done it like 3 times now.
There's a weird crossover in IPs here, because I was thinking, I think I said this to you when I was playing, like the tubes that they've got the hunters in towards the end of the game, they look like the hunters actually look like they could be out of a Gears game. So does the Nemesis. The tubes that they're in look like they could be out of a Gears game. Then I was thinking about the thing that he puts the thing on top of the zombies' heads when they get to you. Maybe not them actually, but the spiders when you're going through the power station.
Yeah,
they like stick something down your throat. That's very alien like. And then the things on the heads. That's what I was thinking. They look like the facehugger things that you get in Half-Life.
Yeah, they do look like head crab things.
There's lots of weird. I just realised that there's a lot of weird sort of similarity crossovers. Anyway, that means nothing.
Yeah.
It's not good chat. It just jumped into my head, so I thought I would say it.
There's definitely going to be taking inspiration from stuff.
They have to be
They
taking.
clearly didn't take inspiration from the fucking original game.
No. I mean, in some, I like that. In saying that, I'll say this because this has jumped into my head right now. I like that Nemesis in this game is like a genuine, like he doesn't have the derpiness that he has. Like I assume the derpiness that in the OG3 is that just an age of the game thing? Because he is a bit derpy.
I might even be a you thing, because having just experienced him yesterday or whenever it was,
he's certainly scared. Yeah, maybe.
I know that he says
maybe
stars a lot, and it is very funny the way he says stars.
Stars. That's where I'm getting it from. Yeah.
He even says it to Carlos at one point, and I felt like saying it. I'm not. Why he's still saying it? But stars. No, that was the other one.
No,
but he is just he proper legs it like he's like I said, he's an absolute tank. He's a bullet sponge.
Yeah, I don't remember this happening when we were.
This one's the one was a derp for me.
The amount of times that you'd walk out of a door and I just scream and I'd look around and he just sprints straight at you.
Yeah,
as you went through a door.
Yeah, and every time the first instance you've seen Nemesis in this game, how the hell you beat that? You just don't have enough ammo.
No,
I don't know if anyone does. I need to see how that's doable.
Yeah,
because I pumped every last bullet into him, and he was nowhere near done. So I don't know what I wasted or what. Maybe you don't use any shotgun shells you find at any point. I don't know. But I need to see somebody beat him that way. I think I have done actually, because I've seen some guy cheat it in a speed run. I think I talked about it last time we did the podcast, where you get a specific angle and Nemesis kind of gets stuck. But even then, he had enough bullets to take him down, so I don't know. Anyway, the stuff that's not in this game from the original, all the puzzles, basically. Well, every single puzzle from the original was gone, and there are only 2 in this game anyway, as we just said a minute ago. The grave
it's weird
digger,
that they decided to pull the puzzles out. It doesn't make any sense.
That's a shit decision. That feels like you decided to make things in this game like I don't want to leave you in a cruel, Carlosless world, or any other bollocks one-liners that idiot had to say. You've put that in there at the expense of actual puzzles, and I don't like that.
I mean, like, if you were to, if someone was to go up to, I was going to say a big Resident Evil fan, but like even you or Kelsey and go, what makes a Resident Evil game a Resident Evil game? There would be like the mansion / police station building, and then it's maybe even puzzles like under that.
Probably.
And they're just they just totally got rid of them. And it's not even like Resident Evil 3 OG is lacking puzzles. I would say, like, in my memory, again, like, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been like a year since I played it. But like, in my memory, like, Resident Evil 3 OG felt like a more action version of OG 1 and 2.
It is.
I think the third remake is that.
Yeah.
But it also, like I said, it is a more action version, but it still has the key tenant tick boxes of all the different things. Like, it's got the puzzles, it's got the I don't know what I'm getting at with that.
Off the top of my head, I would posit that Dino Crisis feels like the most puzzle heavy of all that era of games in the original side.
Yeah. Dino Crisis has got some legit puzzles as well that you've proper got to think about. Did you see Dino Crisis popped up in the news this week? Probably yesterday or today?
No.
Let me find the story for you. I mean, it's not a good story.
It's not the story I want, is it?
No, it's not going to be. Shinji Mikami doesn't think there's a lot of space for a new Dino Crisis while Monster Hunter is so popular.
That's the complete opposite of the news I wanted.
I don't even know.
In the news because somebody decided that they don't want to touch it again.
Yeah, I don't know why we're drawing comparisons between Dino Crisis and Monster Hunter. Really, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, especially when he doesn't even work at the company anymore.
No,
like leave all their IPs out of your mouth.
Get that out of there, Shinji Mikami. Stop ruining our days.
Jesus. Well, yeah, he's got no say on a Dino Crisis anyway, so he's probably just reacting to somebody saying, "What do you think about all these people wanting a Dino Crisis remake?" And he's probably gone, "No."
Yeah, no, basically, so in an interview with Eurogamer, Mikami said that he was very surprised to hear that. Very surprised to hear that when asked about a fan desire for a new Dino Crisis game, suggesting that Capcom had already covered the dinosaur fighting market with another series. The awesomeness of dinosaurs and the stuff you can do with dinosaurs that has been kind of really nailed down by Monster Hunter in recent years. They're not the same fucking game, mate.
Yeah,
They're different games.
Again, they don't have to exist as mutually exclusive.
They've just both
entities,
got dinosaur-looking animals. Does that mean we can't have dinosaurs because of Horizon Zero Dawn? Like Dino?
Yeah, we shouldn't negate any other dinosaur games just because Monster Hunter has something like a dinosaur in it. What happened to you, Mikami? You used to be cool.
Anyway, sorry, I derailed that.
They took out the Gravedigger boss fight, which I think you saw me doing last night with that big penis-like worm. There's no spiders in the game. Giant spiders. They've been cut. There are...
Well, they're not giant. Well, they are giant spiders. The ones that stick their shit down your throat.
Oh, they're more like they're those type of enemies are in the original 3, but they're not quite spiders. They are... I don't know what they are called.
You're right. They're not. They aren't quite... Yeah, okay. I'll shut my face.
Oh. Hang on.
They're kind of like...
Oh, yes. They're called the Drain Deimos or Brain Suckers. They're basically remakes of those. But not the actual, just proper spiders.
I don't remember those. Other than the boss one. I'm gonna have to...
in Resi 3?
Yeah.
They're mostly in the clock tower.
Oh,
just hanging around.
Yeah. Okay, I do remember them.
Speaking of that, they obviously cut out the clock tower.
Yeah,
the fact that they include that they include a fucking pamphlet about a clock tower is basically all there is, and the dog nemesis jumps on a clock tower at one point during that shitty boss fight. That's all there is. But the clock tower, the clock tower in the original Resi 3 is great.
Yeah, it's
like a really cool little mini mansion thing going on with cool puzzles in it. Lots of nemesis interactions, spiders. Really, really good. That's gone. The graveyard's gone. The park's gone. City Hall's gone. Nemesis, his second form was cut from the remake, which is where he's kind of like steel nemesis, or like a humanoid nemesis, but he's got sort of tentacles coming out of him. That was just replaced with the sort of dog one that they have in this remake, which we'll talk about later. Obviously, Carlos goes to RPD instead of Jill, which means that Nemesis won't come to the RPD this time. You don't get any freeze rounds this time around, which is Nemesis' kryptonite, effectively, especially in the original. Obviously only in the original. He cannot handle freeze rounds. He hates it. The reloading tool is no longer a thing. You don't need that to make your gunpowder ammo. However, they did also remove the enhanced ammo that you get for making a certain type of ammo a specific number of times. This one, the remake, is just straight up standard ammo. And there's no mercenaries mode. There's a whole mercenaries mode in the original, which is basically you play as one of the guys from the Umbrella, whatever their tactics force is called with Carlos in it. So it's Carlos, or it's Mikhail, or it's Nikolai. And you have got some kind of bomb planted maybe inside you or something, or on a collar or some shit. You have to get to a specific point in the map. So it would just drop you in the standard town map.
One.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you pick which one of those 3 characters you want. It drops you somewhere in the map and says you've got to get to this area before the time runs out, or it's game over. And then you've got 2 minutes, but you will earn time back by killing enemies on the way. And Nemesis will be there, and it will just throw random enemies at you that aren't in the same positions as the real game and stuff. Pretty good fun. Very, very difficult. That's totally gone from the remake. Replaced, of course, by fucking Resident Evil Resistance, which was their attempt at Dead by Daylight or Friday the 13th, one of these asymmetrical multiplayer kind of games.
Yeah, it lasted about 5 minutes.
Yeah, absolute horse shit, and potentially is to blame. I know it was developed by a different team, but clearly resource money went that way. Capcom, at least publisher focus, went in that direction to have that in there instead of a mercenaries mode or more of the actual game to play. And it was a horrendous decision that I think could rightly be blamed for this game being as short as it is and lacking in content as it is.
Yeah.
Because not only is the game incredibly short, like both of us took just over 5 hours to beat the game. Which in
fairness, 1, 2, 3 are quite short as well.
Yes.
OG.
Yes, they are. The difference there, of course, is that Resident Evil 3, the original, is short, but that had the live choices in it.
Yes.
The live selections, which this game issues.
Yeah, you're intimating that there's reason to go back and very little reason to go back in this one.
Precisely. Not only that, but the live selections in the original will make different cuts. There are different cutscenes that happen based off of some of them, and there are more cuts. Like there's a certain number of playthroughs, it's like 6 or 7 you can have of the original, where they will add more cutscenes every single time. Like there's a slightly small amount of new things that get added each time you do the replay of the game. And of course, it had the mercenaries mode, which they cut from this one as well. The remake of Resi 2 was also short, as you pointed out, but that had 2 different campaigns. It has Leon and Claire as a separate campaign, and technically it has 4 if you count the A and B stuff. That is not as fleshed out as it is in the original, but they were still there. That also had the 4th survivor, which was unlocked the same way it is in the original game. That had the tofu survivor mode, which is the one where you play as a fucking stick of tofu. And it had the DLC where you had the Ghost Survivor stuff where you played as Kendo, as we discussed on the last episode. Yeah. So that had a shitload of content. This game does not have a shitload of content. It just has a 5-hour game and some unlocked stuff and a shitty multiplayer that you got for free.
That's one of my takeaways actually from the old Resident Evil sort of christening I've had over the last few years is that actually, so I remember playing the remake of 2 when it came out, thoroughly enjoying it, played the Leon campaign, and then I was like, oh, I'm finished. That is not true in Resident Evil games. Like you kind of need to be playing multiple playthroughs to get the full sort of appreciation of the game, which is that's just a comment I wanted to chuck in there.
Yeah, but in this one, there's very little reason to do it again, other than you're just going to start unlocking like concept art or costumes or whatever.
Yeah, which I enjoy, but I can't be fucked with at the same time. Isn't it? Like, it's not that I can't be fucked with them. I enjoy them because I sat and looked through all the ones that I had unlocked. It's that I'm not going to specifically go out my way to unlock them, but if they're there, I will look at them. Like I think I was saying before, I think Naughty Dog games do that as well, where they have the little unlockable stuff, which I like. I do like that sort of stuff.
Bonus is just for playing it.
I need to unlock them all and then start grinding away. Like you need to give me a reason to want to go back into the game other than to unlock some XP to unlock a digital model.
Yeah. I'm exactly like you. Like you unlock them, you go, I'm going to look through all of these. Oh, that was cool. And there's loads I haven't unlocked, but my bollock's going to go get them. So, yeah, especially as this one, the variety in the playthroughs that you would get, as they went along, it's going to be so minimal again, because even in the remake of 2, like Mr. X is a lot more dynamic, and he will, he can make some of your playthroughs at least different and unpredictable. Whereas in this one, again, Nemesis is completely scripted in when he shows up. So that part isn't going to change. And, the city is just so small. There's the backtracking in this game, which I can't believe I'm actually hankering for. But as a sort of hardcore Resi fan, that's kind of what I like.
You go through as much as we like the city, it is a sort of linear back and forth for a certain extent. You basically go through it 2 to 3 times. Yeah,
you'll go back if you've got the bolt cutters and the lockpick, because you've got some places to go open with those things. But most of the time, you're just getting ammo or health.
Yeah, sometimes
you're not getting key items. Yeah, exactly.
You open this massive chest and there's like a wee bit of gunpowder in the bottom. It's like, fuck off. Give me something better than that.
The original game just felt really interconnected and like cleverly designed as like a map, whereas this one, It's not. It's just two sides of the donut shop, as I said earlier, and it makes and after that, all the areas just feel really, really linear, as you said. You're just pushing through everything in a straight line. You can't even go to the gas station in this. Remember the gas station blowing up?
Yeah.
You can see the gas station. It's there.
Just
you can't go to it.
Tower.
Well, exactly the clock. I mean, the clock tower in the original game has one of the funniest bits ever, where you ring the clock tower bell, so the helicopter shows up to take you away, and Nemesis fucking rocket launches it out of the sky, and then Jill loses her mind. That's a great part of the game, and that's the part where Carlos jumps through the fire. He just comes out of the fire out of nowhere and does like a forward roll through it. It's brilliant, but all gone.
Yeah, it's sort of an interesting like juxtaposition, is that the right word? But basically, when I played through OG3, I came up when I'd heard from you that it was like originally meant to be a Resident Evil 2.5, and then they expanded it to make it Resident Evil 3. I was like, okay, sort of, I have my expectations set, and it exceeded my expectations. Whereas this one, I was like, oh, I've played out a lot of Resident Evil games now. I really enjoy this series. I am looking for, like, Resident Evil 2 Remake was great. I'm looking forward to this. And again, I still enjoyed it, but it sort of did the inverse. It just wasn't quite what I hoped it would be.
Yeah.
Which is it's a real shame. And you know what? With a couple of tweaks, they could have done an A/B playthrough with Jill and Carlos quite easily. There's enough there that they could have, and they're apart enough that you could have sort of had two different playthroughs to sort of encourage you to go back and explore the game in a different way. For me, like, like, I know we've just been picking at it, and as linear, actually, like as linear as it is, like, it probably would have been enough for me if they, like I said at the start of this podcast, if they had done multiple versions of the city at the beginning of the game. I probably would have still moaned about it and been slightly disappointed, but to me, that's where the game's at its strongest. And like after that, like I say, I enjoy the police station for what it is, and then beyond that, it's just fine. It's a fine game. Like, I'm glad that like moving about the characters fun and fairly.
Yeah, the fundamentals are down.
Yeah. Which sort of carries it through the rest of the game. But yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it, but it's not as good as the others.
Mm-hmm. What did you think to how they portray Jill in this game versus, well, I guess every other portrayal of Jill? I mean, for starters, you know, sexy Claire from the last episode where they had to worry about upskirt shots and stuff. That is not a worry in this game. She is full on, you know, Lara Croft in the Tomb Raider reboot.
She's still hot, though. She's not like...
She is hot.
Like, I mean, it's not a crime to be hot, I guess.
No, absolutely. They decided to definitely make her more functional this time around, and certainly in the way she dresses. She's not wearing like a boob tube anymore and a little skirt. She's got... I mean, she sleeps in her jeans. She rolls out of bed in that first couple with her fucking jeans on.
So she does.
That's a sociopathic trait right there. But she is, you know, there's clearly like a huge emphasis on trying to make her a total badass in this game,
which I think that fits for me. I'm into that.
Well, they damn near kill the woman enough times in this game.
She should be good. She's like an elite police officer, essentially, right?
If anything, that was all underplayed in the originals. Really, she was questioning of, you know, Umbrella, and she was intelligent in that regard, but she certainly wasn't as, like, you know, prototypical badass as this Jill is, because she's talking shit all the time. She's swearing a lot. She's like gets visibly fed up with Nemesis by the end and can pick up a fucking giant rail cannon.
Yeah.
I mean, how it's bigger than her.
Odd weapon. We need to come back to that. But now we're thinking about it. You know, like how we had derpy Nemesis that isn't actually that derpy in the first one, running about saying stars.
Yeah.
See, technically speaking, Jill in 3 Remake is not stars. She's suspended, right? But I'm not sure why. I never picked that up. Why? At the start, she's talking about this might be my last sort of blah, 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 and then her being suspended from being a stars operative.
I suppose the as far as Nemesis is concerned, she was stars when the mansion incident.
Last time he checked the HR database, she was not suspended.
They hadn't closed that record yet. Exactly. It's what she knows rather than what she is at this point, isn't it? She's been in the mansion. She knows what Umbrella did. That has to be eradicated. But she's
to answer your question.
She's a very different character. And what about her relationship with Carlos? What do you think about that?
Sort of to answer your question, I think, like I say, I think I like her better because is there not? Again, you'll need to close some gaps here because your knowledge is far better than mine. There is check the state of my hands. Anyway, there is is it this game where they basically retcon it? So like she's an absolute lunatic in 3, and then later on they act as if she's like can't even hold a gun properly, or is that a different character I'm thinking of?
That's Rebecca from 0 to 1.
From 0 to 1. I knew that. Okay, so I'll delete that from my brain. Sorry, what was your next question?
About Carlos and her relationship, and
I like this.
Well, him as well.
I like Carlos better in this game because he's still a creep, but he's not like a weird creep that he is.
He's very much a 21st century, 2020 to 2024 era creep where it's just about socially acceptable to say the things he says, whereas in the original, Carlos is just a fucking horn dog from second one. And he's a goofy one of that.
It's just like the stuff I can't remember specifics, but like I remember coming away from the third one, like say if you come at some female, oh my god, horrendous chat. If you come at a girl with the chat that he whips out in the OG3, like there is no way in hell that you're gonna pull. Like he has ruined it. He is absolutely shit in the bed. He's probably still a virgin, let's be fair. Whereas like it's slightly better because like he tries it at the start and then she just absolutely bats him down, and then he sort of wisens up a little bit, and then after that when he does do it, it's kind of funny. I like the way they do it in the remake. I don't know, but then it's just like times change and things move on. Yes, he's a massive sleazeball in the worst possible way in the OG one, I think.
Yeah, I think I've hopefully got a clip here after this fucking advert.
He doesn't make me cringe as much as Resident Evil Zero lad that just gives us a thumbs up because he's also weird. The males,
Billy Cohen.
Yeah, the males in the Resident Evil universe's chat are odd. Like everyone's got little different bits that's weird. There's Chris punches a rock. I'm not just talking about chat. Chris punches a rock. Billy Cohen is thumbs up. Carlos with shit chat. Leon, I mean, he's got loads.
Oh yeah, you wait till you see. Well, Leon was just angry at everybody, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was just like, I mean, not unnecessary because the shit that he's having to deal with, but yeah, he did seem to just be annoyed with everyone anytime he spoke to anybody in RE2. You wait till you see Steve in Code Veronica, mate. He is the worst of the worst.
Can't wait.
We're going to have some real fun talking about that.
I played about an hour, I think, of Code Veronica. And then
maybe you did.
I always get scared off by him, that game, but I will get there.
Yeah, no, he's going to be fun to talk about. But they definitely
I did. He's another absolute weirdo. I forgot about him. Yeah, I completely forgot.
That game's full of weirdos. Everybody's weird as hell in that game. Interesting, actually, that the guy who did Carlos, who yes, they have made a very a more mature, straight-laced character to an extent in this game. The guy who did the voice of Carlos was the guy who did the voice of Chris in Resident Evil Village. So I guess he's Chris Redfield. Yeah, he sure is.
I think I must be completing Carlos when I started playing this game with someone in another Resident Evil game that I played, because I kept expecting to find myself in like an underground cavern and for Carlos to die. What game is that?
Luis in Resi 4.
Is that what I'm remembering? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he dies in the underground caverns bit in the remake.
That's who I was thinking of.
He's another one who they sort of like calmed down from the original and reduced his horniness somewhat. Which, hey, it was early 2000s. That's what everyone was like. So I can understand that those things had to change. I just I have a real fondness for OG Carlos. I just think he's just such a loser, and his dialogue is so cringy and terrible. It makes me laugh. Whereas in this one, it's just kind of like tiresome. Just the way he keeps saying other stuff, like little hints about like he's like kind of bigging himself up, sort of like, oh no, don't worry, I'm not going to leave you in a world without me, and all this kind of stuff. Like, all right, mate.
Carl,
all right,
Zap Brannigan.
Yeah, good lord, that line is absolutely horrendous. Well, I think we've done quite a lot of in-depth chat already. Well, I want to talk about the
Did
Nemesis.
you enjoy the hospital section?
Yeah, let's do the hospital, and then let's talk about the Nemesis different boss fight phases, because we'll see what we feel about those. Hospital section.
I really enjoy. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I did enjoy that section quite a bit.
Yeah, I like that section too. Apart from the very end of it, but before we get to the end of it, yes, I like that one. Definitely felt like sort of more of a almost like a Metroidvania style part where you had to do different things to open different doors, like get the little tape recorder of the guy's voice and open the way into his lab. The hunters are absolutely terrifying in this game. Like I knew they were coming, and I was really apprehensive about approaching them, especially when you go past that room and there's two of them in there, because they will just mess you up very, very easily.
They're absolutely vicious, those things. I am probably going to be impressed at the end of this time that you managed to get in there, get is it the tape that you get out of that room?
Yeah.
And get out with a hunter alive in there.
He stayed there the whole game. He never. He was just still stood there in the corner, just looking at the wall,
just smashing in that poor doctor that's lying on the floor.
Yeah,
in a pulp.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, it's really good. I think I said it to you before when we were streaming and chatting, but I do have such a soft spot for hospitals in video games. I think they have an atmosphere that is second almost to none. It's that. Mm-hmm. I don't know, hospitals scare me.
They're creepy enough as it is. Yeah.
Enough as it is. I don't like being in hospitals as it is.
No,
I don't understand how people can do that as a job. Just happily walk into a hospital every day. I want nothing. I will resist going to a hospital until I absolutely have to be in there.
Yeah.
So
I didn't even like it when we were in there for Cassie being born. Even then, I was still just like, I'd go to the canteen and see somebody with one leg, I was like, "You've obviously just had that. This is horrible. I've just had a kid. I don't want to see your amputations. Go away." I'm trying to eat a Burger King, for fuck's sake. Or whatever it was I got from the canteen that day. But yeah, even then I still just wanted to get out of there. Like, ew, can we just get my wife and kid out of here as quickly as possible? I don't want to be in a place of death and disease.
So yeah.
And like I said, this one's disgusting. The amount of viscera like sprayed all over all the walls, and there's the corpses everywhere.
Yes.
It's a great way of doing the hospital. I just hate that fucking standoff bit where you've got to protect the door while Jill's in there and just
it's awful.
busting through the... Because that also really highlights an incredible design decision where if a zombie is more than like 10 yards away from you, the frame rate drops to about 2. I had that in the same street as me at one point.
That bugged me.
Zombie was a few yards away and he's fucking half frames. What is that?
I think I was moaning to you about this in A Plague Tale Requiem. I don't know, we've spoken about frame rates quite a lot, and I think probably partly because of you.
Sorry.
30 frames a second is kind of ruined, depending on the game. Actually, if it's a slow game, I can manage it fine. But if there are multiple frame rates within the same screen, it really pulls me out. Out of things. I think I was moaning to you about this with A Plague Tale Requiem. It does that thing where if the rats and people, if you're walking around a town, people up to 60 frames per second. As soon as they get far away, they drop down, and it makes the game actively worse to me. I just cannot. It hurts my brain. So I'm fully with you there. I do not like it when obviously they're saving space, memory, but it makes the game it's just so distracting.
Man, this one's enemies you're having to shoot, and they're going at like a different frame rate to the rest of the. What? I can understand if they're miles away, but. Because they've got what they like to do this. They did it in fucking what's that game we decided not to bother playing? Dragon's Dogma 2. Apparently they do that in there as well.
Yeah.
Just drop the frame rate to single digits for anything more than 2 meters in front of you. It's really weird.
And
of course you can't shoot them outside the window in the hospital bit, which is why I was bringing that up. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. No, I was about to start talking about Dragon's Dogma. We're doing a podcast. You don't need me banging on about that.
You were annoyed by that though, because I think you were trying to shoot them out the window the first time you did that hospital bit.
Yeah,
the standoff bit, and don't think you can even hurt them, can you?
No, not at all. Not at all.
So you can't be proactive and try and get the ones who are going to come in next. You just have to wait for them to walk in.
I was shooting out the window and they just keep coming at you. So there's like and it's trying to figure out when it crosses that invisible line that you can start shooting them.
Yeah.
When we were playing, I did notice in Resident Evil 2, the OG one, when we were playing that recently, and I think to be in fairness, that's why I never mentioned it at the time. In fairness, it's because we were playing with the massive like 4K HD res pack. When zombies are coming through the window, it's like they're crawling out of tubes. Did you notice that? It's like you can see them they appear and they're like totally prone, and then they crawl into the thing, and it just looks so daft. Yeah, I'm assuming that's just because everything else around it is so like crystal clear that you wouldn't have noticed that so much in the old game. Yeah,
I guess they're on a window. And then they break the window, and then I guess they just flump forwards, and then they land on the windowsill, and then they just slide in.
They have immense core strength. They just go like
clanking on a windowsill. Yeah. Well, I suppose they are technically dead, so they'll be stiff cadavers, wouldn't they?
Rigor mortis will have set in.
That's the one. That is it. But yeah, I just hate that bit. It's like the one in Resident Evil 4 in the cabin. At least has two levels to it, and you've got somebody else to help you out. That feels tense. This one just feels annoying, because it's such a small space, and they start throwing hunters at you and stuff, and it just seems to go on forever.
Yes,
like you went through it for such a long time before you had that fail state where I didn't even know what it looked like when they got through the door, because I would just have died before that.
Yeah, you got to sit and watch. I was like, this doesn't seem right that they're getting in that room. Sit and watch.
I don't think I've succeeded here.
It's a really long sequence, and then they make you watch like a 1.5-minute long fail state video. It's like, oh, cheers, guys. Thanks.
But yeah, apart from that, the
hospital's just a weak. Yeah, you're right. It's just a weak point. It's not particularly fun. They're just throwing enemies at you, and the way the zombies are sort of, in my opinion, anyway, are designed in this game. They're fun to interact with. How they are in the rest of the game, i.e., like 1, 2, 3. In a room, and you're just trying to like manage them and shoot them, because they can take so many fucking headshots. When you start just chucking loads of them at you, and you haven't used a gun that probably isn't that fun anyway, like the machine gun, it's a weak part of the game. Yeah. And I will say as well, in case this is my last chance to bring it up, the first hunter you encounter appears to come from that room. I've forgotten his name, but the black dude's sitting at the computer, I don't know, playing solitaire or something. But like,
no, he's negotiating. Remember, with them.
Oh yeah, with them. They them, and the hunter seems to come from that room. So either he's supplying the hunters, or the hunter just fucking marches in and just storms. He's like, oh no, this is a negotiator. We'll leave him. He's busy. I'll just go and get Carlos.
He's busy. Look, man, I don't have the time right now. Oh, sorry. It just goes off. Right, let's talk about the Nemesis fights. The first one you do is the one with the flamethrower, where you're climbing up something and Nemesis grabs Jill by the head. Doesn't break her neck or anything, just chucks her a little bit. Then he points a flamethrower at her, doesn't press the trigger, just lets her get up. And then it's just a bit of do-si-do, isn't it? It's ring around the rosy, shoot him in the back.
Around until, just ran around for a bit.
Okay, so currently that's the worst one at this point. We'll rank that bottom. The next one is when he becomes a poochie, and
when he starts getting fucking dog zoomies, like an excited Doug, just running round in circles. It's like, fuck.
What is that?
What are you doing? Because like, if you you can just stand still and just watch him. You like it did remind me of like when my dog loses its shit and just starts running around like a madman, and you're just standing staring at this absolute lunatic, just going round and round. Yeah, that's kind of how it felt.
It is exactly that.
What am I meant to do with this? I was just standing watching him.
Yeah, maybe I'll just go grab some ammo while you're up there, pal.
I'll just keep going. Yeah, I'll keep doing loops, pick up some of this stuff.
Because you're supposed to obviously shoot mines from your mine launcher or whatever.
Yeah, okay. But what I was doing was waiting until he came down and then just shooting the mine on his head.
That'll work.
which was working
I guess.
fine for me because like it just like when you shoot the mine at him, it like sticks his head and it goes beep 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 and then explodes. So I'm just like, well, why would I do anything else other than just like smack it on his forehead? Like, why would you? Anyway, yeah.
Apparently, if he hits you, he can do up to 50% of your health in a single shot.
Is there much danger of that, given that he's sort of running around the walls?
Well, not in that part of the fight, but I suppose, yeah, even then, you've got plenty of time to heal while he's...
also felt as long
arena.
as you were moving when he came down, you were fine, generally.
Yeah. Flame grenades
one
are
of
a
these
bad way to
players
go.
that stood still, then maybe you were in trouble. But always be moving, Alex. Always be moving.
Exactly. That's probably worse than the flamethrower one.
Yeah,
I think.
oh yeah. I mean, the flamethrower one was simplistic, but it was fine. And
yeah, I liked it when he did like a little
what?
dance and sprayed loads of little flames
also
around like a little rain.
Yeah, and to try and be like positive, because I like I say, like I keep saying, and I keep like nipping at this game. I did enjoy it. Like visually, the flames look amazing. So like when you're in about that boss area, like
that ray tracing on.
Yeah, it does look fantastic. So it's just about sort of kiting them around. It's a simple boss fight. It's not difficult, but yeah, it is what it is. There's no helicopter in MGS1.
No. He doesn't seem to run very much in that fight. I suppose big old flamethrower on his back.
He does a lot of sprinting about, and then in that one, he just does a lot of serious walking.
Yeah, exactly. He's got his steps in for the day. It's time to relax. Just play with the flamethrower for a bit.
But yeah, Mad Doug running about like with the zoomies is worse, I'd say.
And then we see that Mad Doug again in the second to last boss fight, where you're in the sort of acid tank pit thing. He's got a big tentacle arm at this point as well.
Oh, God, which ones? Oh yeah,
that's the one where Carlos is there, spotting him for you and being like, "It's on tank number 4." And then you shoot a couple of massive red lights and electrocute him. But he also has a little crew of zombie friends who
were giving me jip, man. Like probably
they were
like so much more jip than I'm comfortable admitting. Like I think I died twice in that boss fight because they just kept catching me.
It wasn't him, it was them.
Yeah, I got killed by the zombies. Not the hiding.
I've never quite figured out what the point of the A button is, like the frantic pressing of the A button. I'm glad you said that
because I could not figure it out. There was no point in which they tried to bite me that my A button saved me. So like, what does it do?
You get it. You smash it as hard as possible. You fill up the little circle, and they'll still bite you right in the throat.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's less damage. I don't know. But yeah,
it has to be, but there was never. You were still in the back of your mind thinking, maybe this time he'll punch them away. Nope,
no way.
They're biting you, and from behind it's even worse. They take off more damage. I think if they get you from behind, which one of them did. There's a bit where you go into an alley obviously in the city part, and there's like 3 zombies chomping on some poor fucker, and there's a barrel nearby that you can shoot to blow them up, and I think you probably did it. You started shooting them a little bit, and then you shot the barrel. I wanted to try kiting them, all 3 of them, towards the barrel. So I sort of backed away to try and bring them towards me. But there was a zombie kind of in a side bit behind that I hadn't noticed on the way in, and he got me from behind and proper scared the shit out of me. And I thought that was a really nice, tiny little slice of really great enemy placement and behavior design, because they know people are going to do that. They've got 3 enemies there. They've got a barrel just like towards them, towards you a little bit. They know you're going to walk backwards to try and draw them towards you, and they're going to get you with that zombie from behind every time. But it didn't happen to you, and therefore I can't really talk about its merits with you too much, because you didn't have that happen. You outthought it. But then that's the other fight is you're shooting him and making him electrocuted, and he falls to the ground, and you shoot him a bit more, and then eventually they just pour a bunch of acid on him.
Yeah, I mean it's fine.
Drastically simplified from the original game, where you do still have to engage with these acid taps, but you have to shoot them yourself, and you have to basically lure Nemesis towards them and then shoot the acid so that it then sprays him, which is far harder than this one.
Yeah, I think I've maybe forgotten that.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that as well. But that one, that one's a lot, because he will still run at you. He's got a long tentacle. He can reach you from a distance. So actually trying to lure him towards you to have enough time to shoot the acid is quite difficult. That's tough. This one's just... It's tough because you can't see the camera. You mentioned it while you were playing. The camera feels quite heavily zoomed in.
Yeah, and I couldn't figure it out. I thought I had, to the point that I thought I had pushed a button. So it starts off in that boss fight totally normal, and then at some point, I don't know, it must have just been because I was near the end, gets right in at the back, and I thought, if I like clicked in a stick by accident, it's changed the viewing angle. But yeah, it's like so close that it's hard to see what's going on around you. Especially given that you have to be aware of what's happening, because there's probably zombies running about you at the same time as well.
I think it's to obscure your ability to see those zombies behind you. I think it's purposely trying to make it harder for you to see what's behind.
Yeah, that's a bit shitty.
Your less space. Yeah, I saw somebody talking about it on a video where they showed like how different in general the camera zoom distance is versus the 2 remake. And whereas in the 2 remake, if you're going to have a close-up camera, it sort of feels right because you're stuck in a police station in these corridors. Yeah. Whereas when you're putting somebody out in an open city and then drawing the camera really close to their shoulder, kind of feels a bit cheap to just be like, there's zombies all around you, but you're not going to be able to look at them properly.
It's just, I just find that frustrating. It's the same with the move and shoot thing with Resi 4 OG, maybe? Anyway, because I kind of got over that. But yeah, it's like artificial tension building, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Final Nemesis boss fight, of course, is when he's just fucking massive and he's got loads of warts that you've got to shoot or whatever they are.
Yeah, that's a weird one. I think I said to you at the time, the gun in that room is weirdly specific. Like,
what was it ever going to be for?
It is useful in no other scenario other than the specific scenario Jill finds herself in. Like, you can't take that to war because it's very close up. Like,
it's got a cable.
It's got a cable, so your range isn't great. It's a thick cable, so it's not even just like plug it in and get an extension cable. That is like proper voltage you're putting through those cables. Why they had built it in that room, I'm not sure. What were they doing with it? I guess they're like are they like a military company? Do they make they're like they make, what are Umbrella? Because I know they're making bioweapons.
They're a pharmaceuticals company,
pharmaceutical companies that have a side hustle in bioweapons. Yeah, so I can't think like that gun is not making aspirin tablets. Like it like what are you doing with it?
I don't know. I mean, it's in the original, to be fair, but you don't pick it up. Because in the original, she's a tiny little woman, but in this one, she's badass, so she can just lift that fuck. And even give him a one line.
Yeah, nah, I'm going for it. It's fucking stupid, that gun. Makes no sense.
And you don't even get to have any real fun with it. You just put some batteries in, you shoot his herpes, and you just go up to it, press a button, and then it just look. Here's an aiming reticule. I don't think that matters at all where you aim it. You just press the shoot button, and it's done.
It does do that thing. It does that sort of unfortunate Resi thing. Dead Space also did it, where it's just like you've got like quite a fun game, and then you finish it with such a massive, wet, sloppy fart. Like I don't know. It doesn't add any. That did not add anything to the game. I didn't feel better for having had that boss fight in there.
No. I understand that Resident Evil is going to follow its, tradition of having body horror and ridiculous levels of like mutated shit towards the end of the game. But this was just a screen filling exercise in shooting the glowing bits, which did not take a lot of ammo to shoot. It's like 3 shots from your pistol, which if you've got the semi-auto one at that point, of the burst fire pistol, that's just one press of the trigger. Pushing something in, and then run over and press a button on the gun and it'll shoot it for you. And then you just make a big anus in the wall. That's it.
It was quite a nice visual, the big wall anus. But I would have I would rather have got to walk through the wall anus than have to walk around the side of it.
Yeah, exactly. Just sort of peer through it and then go for a different... Yeah, what a shame. Yeah, and then the final bit is the Modern Warfare 2. Shoot the gun at the right person. Don't accidentally shoot your friend in this one shot
when
that
you
you're allowed
said
to have
that when I
online.
was streaming it, I was like, "What is he talking about?" And it wasn't until I saw it. I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot that was a thing in Modern Warfare."
The old hostage, yeah. And then the game ends. 5 hours have finished, and we never play it again. Although we do admit that it's a very nice looking, functionally very well made video game.
Yeah, I say it's a good game that I had a fun time with, but I'm also severely disappointed by it because it is not on a par with the other remakes.
It absolutely isn't. Shall we rank it?
Yeah. What have we got? Let me pull that up so I can see it.
Oh, you've listed them all in here. What did the Resident Evil 3 remake get in Metacritic? An 84, which is higher.
That's higher than I would have given it.
Higher than 0. It's higher than Dino Crisis.
It's not as good as Dino Crisis. Maybe I'm being harsh. I feel like I'm in the minority, but I liked 0. I think Resident Evil 0 is good.
It's lower than 0. No, it's not. It's higher than 0. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I see. I've given all the Metacritic scores.
1 point higher. Yeah, you did it. And you've done a nice little colour coding in there as well. Kudos to you for that.
Oh yeah, there's a 38 Metacritic in there.
Yes,
the worst Resident Evil is Resident Evil Umbrella Corps. Corpse?
Yeah.
Core. What's the what's the worst sort of proper Resident Evil? Resident Evil 2 on GameCube.
You've even graded the fucking mainline stuff. Look at this spreadsheet he's done, lads. Or you can't, but I'm just telling you now, if you're a fan of, very nicely formatted spreadsheets, David's done one. You can't see it.
I think I've graded what we've played, have I? Perhaps? The looks of it.
Oh.
Yeah, I haven't. It's not quite as good as you might think, because there's Dino Crisis is a grade.
Good point.
Probably a proper Resident Evil game would be Resident Evil 6, 67.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
anyway, right. So if I was making this list, I would put Resident Evil 3 at number 11 and put 5 and 6 below it.
So would I.
Okay, that's nice and easy.
That really was that easy. What the fuck? That's part of my notes I just pasted in there. If you were to, as you've mentioned before, you see me as some element of not necessarily an expert, but a veteran of Resident Evil. Then the fact that
an expert.
The fact that our opinions seem to be basically the same all the time means you've got very good taste in Resident Evil games.
Apparently so, yeah.
You trust my opinion on them.
Let's have a look at this. I'm not sure it would change much about this list that we've got, to be honest.
I think we did enough of the retconning last time, didn't we? When we put 3. Did we put 3 up to 5? Did we? It was below something, wasn't it? It was below 7 or something. I think we moved it all the way up there. You better read out the
we're gonna have to quickly play another Resident Evil game, because I don't like that we've now got 13 Resident Evil games on this list.
Okay.
Or maybe that's apt for Resident Evil, right? This is the Summer of Resi. Anyway, so number 13. So we're going from 13 to 1. Worst Resident Evil game, we've got Resident Evil 6, then we've got Resident Evil 5, then we've got Resident Evil 3 Remake. Resident Evil 3 is Resident Evil 3 Remake, and then Resident Evil 0 comes in at number 10. Number 9, we've got Resident Evil OG.
Yep.
Number 8, we've got Dino Crisis. Number 7, we've got Resident Evil 7, which is nice and neat. Number 6, we've got Resident Evil Village. Number 5, we've got 3 Nemesis. Number 4, we've got the 4 Remake. Number 3, we've got Resident Evil OG Remake. This becomes a difficult list to say. Number 2, we've got Resident Evil 2 Remake. And number 1, currently the best Resident Evil game of all time, according to their winner review list, is Resident Evil 2 OG.
Indeed.
We have chunked through. What do we do next year, Alex, now that this is sort of wrapping up the Summer of Resi 2024?
Yes.
What do we do Summer of Resi 2025? Have you thought about this? Because we're running out of proper Resident Evil games to be playing. We've got to go back. I
constantly think about it.
Code Veronica's probably up, right?
I'm afraid so.
And then Resident Evil 4.
I'm afraid so. Then it's your choice, I would say.
I mean, looking at this list, if we are going pure Metacritic, I mean, you probably wouldn't want to do Resident Evil 4 twice. So for listeners,
that's just the Wii and the GameCube.
They're the same game, right?
I'm going to play the Wii version, by the way.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I guess if we're going Metacritic, it would be Resident Evil 4, OG, Resident Evil Code Veronica, and then Dino Crisis 2, perhaps.
I would love to play Dino Crisis 2 again.
If we wanted to keep it Resident Evil, we would have to go all the way down to Resident Evil Revelations on the 3DS. But I think it's probably going to be Dino Crisis 2. Is that cheating for a Summer of Resi if we're starting? No, because we did Dino Crisis, right? Was that a Summer of Resi?
The first one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it is then.
I would suggest that moving forwards from those three, we're going to want to do Revelations 1 and 2, maybe Outbreak, and that's probably it.
So we've got 2 more years of the Summer of Resi and then it's done.
Yeah, because I don't want to dip into things like... I mean, I probably would play the Wii shooter ones, I guess.
I'm wondering, maybe we need to do have an AGM and go through these games. Maybe there's some we can sort of check off, if that makes sense. Maybe there's some we can sort of dip in and I don't know, maybe there is and maybe there isn't. But I don't think it would take too much to get Resistance in there.
I don't think that game even exists anymore.
Does it not? Oh, that's fucked.
I don't think so. Well, maybe, but I think it'd be me and you on our own. I don't think anyone else is populating those servers.
Well, same with Reverse. I don't know.
Oh, Reverse is shit.
Yeah, maybe we need to have a look at this and see.
Yeah, you've got Revelations 1 and 2. You've probably got Outbreak if we can get a way to get it working.
There's something fun about having Revelations 1 and 2 in the same go.
Yeah, I think so. They're very different. Like the second one, especially because we can play that in co-op.
Yeah,
it will be it'll feel very different.
But then
there'll be a new one next year. So
I mean, Dino Crisis 3 seems to be bad.
No, I don't want to play that.
What is wrong with it? What have they done to it?
It's just nothing like the originals. It turned into some kind of like
2
space.
isn't like 1 either, right? It's a run and gun shooter. 2.
Yeah. 3 is just apparently just really janky, and I don't even know how much of Capcom actually did with it. I don't even know if they developed it. I think it might have been someone else.
And what's the difference between?
It was developed by. Oh, well, it was developed by Capcom. Sega Hitmaker are listed as one of the developers as well.
Yeah. What's the difference between Code Veronica and Code Veronica X?
Code Veronica X is just like an enhanced port. That'll be the one we play. That's the one that's on like modern consoles. You can get it on PS5 and Series X. Because it was really
the Umbrella, because there's 2 sort of Chronicles. There's Umbrella Chronicles and Darkside Chronicles. What do you know about them?
They're the Wii light gun games. It's supposed to be pretty good.
Probably ones that we can just knock off. Yeah. A light gun game, some of them can knock off. But yeah, I think based on this initial, sorry.
That'll probably be 1 episode. I think we could get both of those in one episode because they're not going to be very long, and they'll tie together stories. Umbrella is like retells the story of 1, or has stuff to do with the story of 1, and then Darkside is 2, and Code Veronica. It's got elements of those 2 stories in. I remember I was telling you about the fact that in Umbrella Chronicles you have that bit where Lisa Trevor has that fight with Wesker before she gets crushed in the self-destruct thing. So there'll be some interesting things in that to talk about, and then as I say, there'll be a new Resi coming out next year as well. So if it comes out around the summer, happy days.
Then that's the one. Yeah. I'm keen to, I think I've said this, I say this multiple times, but I'm keen to play as much of this list as we can possibly manage. Yeah. But still have fun. Yeah. I'm fully aware that like Resident Evil Gaiden on the Game Boy Color probably is going to be absolutely no fun whatsoever. So that probably doesn't ever make it. But as much as we can. Is Revelations the one that is like a interactive walking sim.
No.
Which is that one? There's one I'm sure, maybe I've made that up and that's not a thing at all. Maybe I've just watched bits of Revelations and that's what I've seen. Because nothing else is sort of kicking loose that memory. Yeah, I think I'm speaking shite. Which is not uncommon. But yeah, we've covered a lot of Resident Evil games. 13, in fact.
Yeah.
And that brings it to a close, I guess. Another year. And I guess it's, to be fair, 2 more years of the Summer of Resi is still a lot of time. So
takes me to 40.
Yeah. So. It's 40 and you're still talking about Resident Evil, still podcasting.
Yeah.
Still playing
That's the way
games.
to live.
Yeah. So we're living the dream. And then we've got 2 years to figure out what to do next. Silent Summer.
Yeah.
But then we've probably played the ones that are probably interesting because they're doing the remake. So I assume we're probably going to jump into the remake. Because the remake.
We've got the second one, the original, coming up this year, haven't we, in October for thingy.
It seems the remake one seems to be making a comeback. Because remember, like,
I was thinking that, yeah.
People were like absolutely ragging on it, and then they had a gameplay behind closed doors gameplay demo, and people were like, "Oh, actually, it's quite good." So
yeah, the trailers were making everybody really upset, and then people actually played it and thought it wasn't as bad as it looks. So hopefully it's good. Anyway, we've got a couple of years before we need to worry about what we're doing with the future of the summer. I guess next up, Alex, we've got The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, which I am very excited about playing. I think this is a game that is long overdue. There's in fact, we're quite good at this on the Winners U podcast. I think there's a few games that are like sort of tentpole classics across the video game genre, the video game universe that we have managed to fail to cover so far, and this is one of them. Yeah,
we have not even covered. I was thinking today, actually, this is only the second Legend of Zelda game that we've played, I think.
I was thinking that too. That's wild, isn't it?
Which seems like a crime. And also, given how much you like, and me as well, to be fair, but you more so, the N64... Oh, why is my brain going back? The Legend of Zelda... Why is my brain gone blank, Alex? Help me.
I'm not gonna. I don't want. You want me to help you? I wasn't sure if you did. I thought maybe I'll just let you get it.
Wait a minute. Fuck! What dumbass! Ocarina of Time. Fucking hell! How we've managed to do this podcast for about 3 odd years now, and we've not covered Ocarina of Time is again a crime. So. We're ticking off one of the major crimes that we've committed over the years, and covered this game. This is an all-time video game classic.
Just wanted. Well, as I said, I texted you earlier about it. I'm
glad you seem to be enjoying your initial forays into back into Hyrule, the top down.
Yeah, I very much am. But this used to be your favorite. So. Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe just
expected.
Such a nice change of pace.
Mm-hmm. Still, do you know what I find eternally shocking when you load this game up is how fucking pretty that game still is. You think because it's a SNES game, you're like, oh, it'll look like shit. It does not. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
Even today. Sorry, I did cut you off. What were you saying?
Oh, just as I was saying to you earlier, this, as long as I've known you, this was always your claimed favorite Zelda of all time.
So yeah, I think, and apart from, so if I was to, I don't know, maybe I very much enjoyed Wind Waker when we played that to an extent that I was like shockingly enjoyed it. I was like, enjoyed it not only more than I thought I would, but like I was like, oh, this is actually a really, really, really good game. So I'm interested to see how I feel afterwards. But yeah, I think if people were to ask me about my Zelda opinions, because like I don't know if they're I don't think it's a controversial opinion, but yeah, if I was to rank them, number 1 and 2 would have been Ocarina of Time at 2, and Link to the Past would have been my favorite one. Fully cognizant that Link to the Past has sort of gameplay elements that are of its time, so there's a sort of a obtuseness. I think that when I was chatting to you earlier, the thing that jumps out in my head is when you've got to headbutt a bookcase to make something fall off the top of the bookcase, and maybe I just missed it, but I don't remember there being much guidance towards headbutting a bookcase, or even that you could headbutt a bookcase?
Yeah. I mean, there's a
Just gotta know
fortune
you've got to
teller
do it.
kind of tells you just about what to
Okay.
do. It does put some things on your map, but little things like that. I mean, to get the I think what I remembered when I said to you, "Oh, there's something dumb about the Zoras." The thing that I think I was referring to there is when you have to basically go right into the top, like the northeast corner of the map, like as far as you can go into the top right hand corner, and then you eventually find the king of the Zoras, who then charges you 500 rupees for some flippers.
For some flippers, so that you can swim.
Yeah, like if you're stuck for ideas on what to do, why would you suddenly decide to just go as far northeast as you can possibly go? Because you've got to go on those bits where some of the water is shallow and some of it you'll just fall into.
Yeah.
So you've got to go up this really windy path to get right into the top, and then hope that you've got 500 rupees when you get there, or at least you know that you need 500 rupees. That's not nothing.
No.
I think I had like 570 something, so I was just about had enough when I got there to buy them off him. Greedy bastard.
Yeah, he's a bugger. And just selling you fucking flippers.
Yeah. But, you know,
How
buy
much
yourself.
does that cost you in real life? A set of flippers? Like £3? His
Yeah.
markup is insane.
Guess
That's why he's a king.
Maybe they had to use one of their own to make them. Maybe it's like Zora skin flippers where you had to sacrifice someone. Yeah. So you're paying for the price of someone's memory. But you know, you said to me, get your guide out. That wasn't the worst advice of all time, to be fair. I've played this game before. I don't need to feel bad about the fact that I'm just going to have a little guide open, just in case I get totally lost. I don't really need them for the dungeons. I can figure the dungeons out on my own. But I'm not gonna. I'm not get lost for like 2 hours.
Yeah, it's been a while, but my memory is like it's not always obvious where your next sort of way to go, or how to find the sort of next item in the overworld.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to put markers on my map of things that were going to be handy later.
That would be lovely. I was thinking about mods for this game before, because we were talking about how we're going to play this game, and there's a mod you can get that. So like, I think the people that sort of rave about this game are people that have essentially memorized how to play it, and they can just sort of get in, do everything they need to do automatically without thinking about it. And I think often that's what people might forget about these games, is that this is an old game now, and some of the gameplay mechanics and like trying to figure out what to do next can be quite obtuse. However, there is a mod for the people that have like memorized how to play this game, but that randomizes all the sort of piece locations. So like the things that you've got to pick up to do different things. Yeah, it moves it around, which I think is quite a cool.
There will be
mod.
There'll be dickheads out there who can calculate the probability of that randomness, certainly. I imagine.
Yeah,
and will know
certainly.
Like if this goes here, then the probability of something else being in over there is whatever number. There'll be people who have figured that out.
You're right. But yeah, that's the next podcast.
Interesting point to note is I've never actually owned the original version of that game, despite the fact that I think I own every single Zelda game.
Yeah, that is fun.
Other than that,
I genuinely think of all the sort of video games I've got, my boxed Link to the Past is maybe one of my most prized possessions.
That's the only way I've ever owned it, is on the Game Boy Advance version that came with...
you must have owned the 3DS... What? No, that wasn't that one, was it? That was Ocarina of Time I'm thinking of.
And Majora's Mask, yeah.
Majora's Mask, yeah.
They've just ported Link to the Past onto loads of stuff now, haven't they? Wii U, Switch, Game Boy Advance. So I think I will. I think I'm going to get myself a copy for the next episode.
My favourite thing is
I might try and get a Japanese one.
Yeah, that would be very cool. So there's my one, which is lovely.
It is lovely.
But yeah, I love it when you open it up, because it's such a memory I've got. It's got.
Please tell me it's got a map of Hyrule in there.
Yeah. So I've got here's the manual, and then it's got the map of Hyrule. and I can remember just like playing this game over summers with my friend. So on one side it's got the overworld
dungeons as well.
Is that what it's got in the back? Because
the early dungeons anyway.
Yeah, so in the back it's got dungeon lore, desert, mountain, and Eastern Palace, whatever that is. Anyway, I used to sit. So he would be playing, and I would be sitting poring over this map, and we'd just be like taking turns about guiding each other around, telling each other where to go. So yeah, I've spent a lot of time looking at this map, but it's very, very cool.
Oh my god!
What's that?
The eBay price for these games appears to be about 160 quid.
Oh, that's so. I paid £50 for my one. So if I sell it now, I've made some money. But yeah, I think I'd rather keep it for emotional values. Also tells you where hidden caves and stuff are, actually.
That's pretty rad.
Yeah. Anyway, that's for the
that's upsetting. I'm not buying that then.
Not for that, no. How much is just the cart?
50 quid.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I guess that brings us to the end of another episode of the Winner Issue podcast. I'm just going to move on from that wild price. If you liked what you heard, and even if you didn't, why not give our numbers a bump by subscribing to us on your podcast feed of choice? Or if you prefer to consume your podcast in a visual format, you can head on over to YouTube and search our Winner Issue podcast, where you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. If the podcast isn't enough for you, can also follow us on the website formerly known as Twitter at WinnerIsYouPod, and you can even send us an email and tell us how wrong we are about our gaming and movie every January opinions. Or was it March? Movie Madness.
March Movie Madness,
Movie Madness. By writing to WinnerIsYouPod@gmail.com. Alex also has not Twitter at SuperThrillix, and I'm still trying Threads, but struggling to settle into a rhythm with it. I think I might just make an Winner Issue Threads and try and fill that with gaming content. At the moment, my Threads feed is just full of people who have left Twitter introducing themselves. So it's like, oh, I better introduce myself on here. I'm blah blah blah, and since Twitter, I don't like Twitter anymore. So that's all my Threads feed is at the moment, which is just not fun.
We are now at Winner Is You on Blue Sky as well.
Okay, so we also have that.
We have 15 followers, so thanks to those for
all 15 of you. That's pretty good.
Doing that.
I'll take that.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. But yeah, if you want to follow me in Threads, I'm at David Smiley. And if you're one of the young ones, we also have TikTok. Head on over there and search your Winners You Pod if you so wish, which I think is actually probably in terms of view count our most popular platform.
Nice work.
Any housekeeping, Alex, or are we getting out here?
I was going to tell you something. Oh, no housekeeping. I've decided recently that my next extravagance is going to be I want a copy of Sin and Punishment.
How much is that? Because you were talking about 160 quid for A Link to the Past, but I've seen you buy Pepsi Man, so
I've put Pepsi Man on eBay.
You don't have that many legs to stand on.
No, I've put Pepsi Man on eBay to fund buying Sin and Punishment because it's about the same price, about 150 quid.
Do you think?
But I thought I've got a Japanese N64 now. So
are you breaking even on Pepsi Man, or are you making profit?
Well, I tried to put it for a 10 or more, but I don't know if it's going to sell for that.
Yeah,
I'm trying to hope that people will want my one because they don't have to get it shipped from Japan.
That's a win, I reckon. Actually, I think if you can make any money on it, that's a win, and you can use it to Sin and Punishment.
Yeah.
Why have you decided you want Sin and Punishment?
Because I heard it mentioned on a podcast and remembered that A, it's really, really good.
Mm.
B, it never came out of Japan until it was on the Wii Virtual Console. And C, I have a Japanese N64. And I thought I can actually play that game.
Next time I'm down yours, I'm
really
going to take Diddy Kong Racing down so we can plug it in because I've got the Japanese.
Don't need to. I've got a Japanese copy of that as well.
Oh well, I'm fucked.
Because that's what the speedrunners use. So I thought I better buy that in case I ever want to be a speedrunner.
I don't think we're ever going to be a speedrunner of any game, Alex. We don't play any specific game enough. Oh well. What's your next? Or do you not know yet? What's your next topic on the Video Game Hall of Fame?
2001 games. Banger of a year.
Wait.
I don't know what to pick.
You haven't picked it yet?
Some of them are already in, I think.
Oh my god.
But it's a cracker.
Holy fucking shit.
Yeah, I just don't know what to do.
Grand Theft Auto 3, Halo, Metal Gear Solid 2, Smash Brothers. What
Max
weird,
Payne.
what weird ass obscure PlayStation game is Rob going to pick? Gran Turismo 3. It doesn't seem like a Rob game.
He's going to pick GTA 3. I guarantee it. Yeah.
He's going to go for that.
Can't help
There's
himself.
no like.
He's too into GTA. He's going to do that.
What's the game I'm trying to think of? There's no weird Persona game that came out in 2001. Is there that he'd be going for?
Not sure there might be. That's more of Simon's deal. Not
Is it?
Persona specifically, but Simon's the hipster guy.
So
I'm
he's
leaning towards Max
Advance Wars.
Payne
Max Payne, strong.
because
How can
Metal Gear 2 though, and then there's Devil May Cry. Oh, it's too hard. It's too
GTA
hard.
3, Halo, or Metal Gear 2 are the big three for me.
Yeah, Halo's already in, so we don't need to worry
safe.
about that.
Okay, so it's GTA 3 or Metal Gear Solid 2. How good is Metal Gear Solid 2 though, man?
Exactly.
Black and White, Onimusha, Smackdown, just bring it. I like that. I think that's maybe the
Love
Smackdown game I played the most. Animal Crossing, Rogue Squadron. Fucking Christ. Well, you've got that. That is
But
gonna be
basically-
a stinker of an episode.
Yeah, we tried to randomize the year that we were going to get, and then I can't remember which one came up, and I was like, you know what, let's just do 2001, and then showed everybody 2001. They're like, yeah, okay, fair enough. There's plenty there.
Yeah.
We didn't want another H situation.
Yeah, true. I guess on that bombshell then, I've been David, he has been Alex, and we have been the Winners You, and I'm out.
Keep gaming.